Hi guys, congratulations, you've got through to a spring marathon. You're doing London, Brighton, Boston, whatever it may be. Well done indeed. It's not that far away when you think about it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm planning for my Boston Marathon. So watch this video through to the end. You'll pick up loads of tips on how to plan your up and coming marathon. And that's all going to start now. Hi guys, I'm Tony James. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button below, turn on the bell notifications so you find out every time I upload new running videos, and most importantly, if you can give this video a thumbs up, give us a like, that will help the channel grow immensely. So as I said at the start of the video there, if you have managed to get through the ballot, you've got a place in London in 2023, or like myself, you managed to get your Boston qualifying time and you're in for Boston in April, or any of the other spring marathons that are around the country. You've got Manchester, Brighton, there's absolutely loads around the country and loads around the world. It isn't that far off now when you think about it, so you really need to consider planning your training and start now. Don't wait until 16 weeks before your marathon, which is generally that 1st of January area. Think about your training and start it now. It will be much more beneficial for you. So I've read a lot of posts on Facebook and the other social media saying, well, I've got my place in London. I haven't run for a while, so I better start running. Yes, start now. And that is my one big tip that I'm going to give you. If you don't take anything else away from this video, just take away this one tip. Start your running now. Consistency is the key. No matter what type of runs you do, fast, slow, tempo, whatever jargon you hear, the one thing you really need to do now is get the consistency right. Get out there, get your running done 3, 4, 5 times a week, whatever it is, whatever your goals are. Now is the time to start that and get the consistency going. Because at the end of the day, when you get to that plan that starts on the 1st of January, the plan actually takes into consideration that you're actually at a level where you can actually start building up to run the marathon. It assumes that you're already running 3 times a week. It assumes that you can already do a decent 5K time. So start your running now. So before I go into my training and how I'm structuring it, just a few words about training plans. There are hundreds out there. There are plenty on the internet to choose. Martin Yelling, coach at the London Marathon, he's got a few plans out there that are really good. There's lots of other free plans around, and there's lots of paid for plans as well. So, take your time and find the right plan that suits your circumstances. Now, as I say, you can go for one of the generic plans that will get you through the marathon, no doubt about it. They will help you, they will get you through. But if you're going for a specific time, or you have a specific goal for that particular race, it might be to get your Boston qualifying time, think about making that plan more personal to you. What's your running strengths? What's your running weaknesses? Where do you have to focus? It's okay, it's following that plan, but if you're struggling on hills, perhaps you need to look at the hill side of it and get more in on that aspect of it. So look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, and maybe, and this is a really good idea, if you can find a coach locally, work with that coach between now and your marathon, and that will help you no end. As I say, generic plans are great, but if you can find a local coach who you can work with, get signed up with them and get them on your side and get them to help you get to that marathon and achieve the goals that you are setting. As for me, I'm running Boston and I want to get there. I want to get there fit, I want to get there well, and I want to get there ready to run injury free. That is the first goal for any of us, is to actually make it through to the marathon start line injury free and get off and running. So what I've done is I've broken my training into 3 parts. Now, thank you to Macmillan Run Team, who have this free template on the internet which you can download, and you can see from here that I've set mine up into 3 phases, and today I'm just looking at phase 1. Now, when I say phases, there's 3 things I'm looking at. First of all, look at the dates on the side there. It is 25 weeks till the 17th of April. That's the day the Boston Marathon runs. And the thing about Boston is it's run on a Monday. and that Monday is the start of week 25. So at the time of recording this, I actually have 24 weeks of training between now and the start line of Boston. So what I've looked at this is to set my training up into 3 aspects. First of all, there's phase 1, to get fitter, to get stronger, and to get those quick twitch muscles, those super fast twitch muscle fibers firing quicker, so I have the strength to get up the likes of Heartbreak Hill, which is at mile 20:21 in the Boston Marathon. And in fact, it's not just a hill, it's a rolling complex of 3 hills. So yeah, I've got to prepare for that. Also bearing in mind that having looked at the course for Boston, the first 4 or 5 miles are all downhill. So in that first 4 or 5 miles, you'll be tempted to go off too quick, and your legs just take a heck of a pounding, because not only have you got your body weight slamming down on that downhill, you've also got the effects of gravity as well. So you can actually beat yourself up even though you're running downhill. So I've got to look at my hill work. So phase 1 for me is a 6-week period where I'm going to work on hills. I'll go into that in more detail in a short while. So my first area of focus for my marathon training is to work on the hills to increase that strength and stamina. My second aspect, which will be nearer the new year, is a 5-week period where I'm going to be working on my speed, working on getting faster by doing more interval work, more fartlek work, and really building up on the actual speed of running. You know, we've looked at the stamina, we've looked at the strength, and now we're going to look at the pure out and out speed and spend 5 weeks just working on that speed aspect of that before I move into phase 3, which will be my actual marathon training plan. So that is going to be the 12 weeks leading up to Boston. Now, it's not 16 weeks because of the speed work, because of the hill work. I should be at a place where I won't need to do the first 4 weeks or so of a training plan, because if you look at any plan, that first 4 weeks is generally a base building part of it, and hopefully by the time we've done the hills and we've done the speed, we're at a point where we can just jump onto a marathon training plan at week 12 and then specifically work with that plan to get to Boston, and that will cover the whole range of what's needed to complete the marathon. But you're thinking, hold on, at the beginning of that plan you've got 1 week recovery. Yeah, as you know, and you can watch the videos on this channel, just click the links below. I've recently done the Berlin and Amsterdam marathons, so I am at Marathon Fitness, and what I've been doing is 2 to 3 weeks of recovery work. The first week after the marathon, I think I ran about 4 miles in total, just letting the swelling of the muscles go down. An elite runner will spend 2 weeks after a marathon not doing any running at all. And the other reason is, and once you've done a marathon, the chances of getting injured as you continue running is actually increased by up to 75% for those 2 weeks after the marathon. So that's something to bear in mind. So let's change the plan to the more detailed plan that I've got together so far. Here it is. As you can see, it's only filled in a certain amount. Now, what I've gone in there and done, first of all, is put 2 complete rest days every week. So that is the minimum amount of rest I'm going to take each week. 2 days, Monday and Wednesday, they are definitely going to be the rest days. I've also included Saturdays because Saturday's parkrun day. So every Saturday I'm going to be looking at doing at least that 5k parkrun. So I've put that in the plan already. And the other thing I've put in the plan is the long runs. Now for me, a 4 weeks of 20+ mile runs leading up to a marathon is the bare minimum I need to do. I've done better when I've done 6 20+ mile runs before a marathon, but with Boston I'm really wanting to get this spot on. So I've put into my plan already, as you can see there, the 8 weeks leading up to the taper before Boston. I'm going to do at least 8 20+ mile runs, and one of them, as you can see there in March, is actually a tune-up run. It is a 20-mile race, so we're going to go out and we're going to do the 20 miles in race conditions. So that's what I've put in to cover on the whole of the plan. But the bits I've filled in specifically, as you can see, the speed isn't filled in and the main plan isn't filled in. That'll be when I get further down. What I have included so far is the 6 weeks of hill running. So what I've done is I put in 2 hill sessions a week. One is going to be a longer hill session where I'll be running the longer hill, running for that 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 70 to 8% of effort, up those hills. So in the first week of hill training, those longer hills are going to be 4 reps at that 1.5 to 2 minutes, taking it up to 12 reps by the time we get to the end of this hills training session. I've also put in a second session where we're going to be running a shorter hill. So with the shorter hills, we're going to start at 6 repeats and then work it up to 15 repeats by the end of the 6-week period. Now, the one thing I will say about hill work is these two sessions, the shorter and the longer hill, do work in separate ways, but they will come together to increase that stamina and that strength, as I mentioned earlier. But the one thing about hill work that I need to stress that a lot of people do forget is you need to put in proper recovery between those reps. It's not a case of belting up the hill and then running down as fast as you can and then running up again. You need to let the body and the muscles recover. So once you've done that repeat up the hill, you need to turn around, walk or jog slowly back down to let the body recover, let the muscles recover before you hit them again. Because with training, what happens is you overload the muscles, and then as they're recovering, they adapt to the overloading situation you've given them. So if you're not letting them recover, they're not really going to adapt to the strains and the overloading you're putting on, and you're not going to build that strength and stamina in there. So your recovery between the 2 reps is important. Okay, so go as like the clappers up 70 to 80% of your effort, and when you get to the top, take your deep breath, walk back down, jog back down slowly, make sure you're recovered before you hit it again. So that's another takeaway for you. Hill repeats, make sure you recover between each one. So there you go, that's my phase 1 plan, hill work. I hope you see my thinking behind this. Hills have been a weakness of mine, so that is why the first focus is going to be working on those. So we're back to that strengths and weaknesses. So I hope this video has helped you. If you do have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and please make sure you subscribe and follow along as I do the weekly videos to let you know how the training is going and to show you the sessions I'm doing, and you can follow along with those sessions as well if you like. Right, that's it for now. Don't go anywhere. Watch what happened in the Amsterdam Marathon by clicking this video now.